everyone. So today I woke up and I got the news that was released from Lucasfilm and Disney about the future releases of Star Wars. This is coming off of watching the last few episodes of The Mandalorian, which have not been wonderful. And I wanted to make some comments on this about how I think it affects 6-scale collecting in general. So I've never been a big Dave Filoni fan. I remember when these announcements first came out back when I used to get subscriptions to Star Wars Insider. And they talked about all the great things that were going to be coming and the Clone Wars and everything, which I was not really that big of a fan of because I felt it wasn't really George Lucas' idea. It was a distilled version of it. And since it had been purchased by Disney, there's not much left of what George Lucas created. The same thing goes with Marvel. We can see that ever since Disney purchased Marvel, the sales numbers speak for themselves. More importantly, the merchandising numbers speak for themselves. In Star Wars, Howard Chan, the president of Hot Toys, once said that he would never again create another character representation from the sequel trilogy because they lost so much money on them just because they didn't sell. Same thing is true for the MCU. You can go into any Target or Walmart and you can find these figures on clearance. Go into an Ollie's. You'll find the MCU Phase 4 in there. You'll find the sequel trilogy in there. So what does this mean for 6-scale collectors? My advice, my belief, is that the future of great collecting for your shelf, for your area that you want to have representing the stories that you adore, go into the past. There's so many great characters in the expanded universe that have never had a representation in 6-scale form. And there's a demand for these things. People love these characters and they would like to see them included on their shelf. Because certainly there's not much demand for the things that they see was the future of where Star Wars would go. So take advantage of this opportunity they've just given you. Go into the expanded universe, go into Knights of the Old Republic and create some of those characters in 6-scale. Dress out your shelf with those representations. As far as Marvel goes, third-party companies have already started doing this, giving us representations of classic comic book characters, representations of the Green Goblin from Susu Toys that looks exactly like the comic book. That is where people are going to want to go because no matter what they do in the future, they can't destroy the greatness that came before them. I think there's going to be a huge demand for anyone that can supply that need, that desire for the classic representation of the characters that we've loved for so many decades. So, don't get discouraged. There will still be a lot of things to collect. And in a lot of ways where you won't have to reward the people that have defiled things that you've loved. So go back into those classic stories, go back into the expanded universe, find some characters that are much loved by people. Find yourself a female head sculpt and a red wig and make your own Mara Jade figure to stand alongside a Luke Skywalker figure. You don't have to accept what they're giving you. Make your own things. Go back to where those stories were great, back before the dark times, before Disney. Thanks for watching.